Good morning, YouTubers. This is Ed Ward, sitting poolside. Beautiful morning, starting of the dry season in Mindanao, Philippines. The sun is just coming up. It's a little after 6 a.m. and another beautiful day here. I'm sitting poolside with alongside the tower. Enjoying my cup of tea. Good. Well, a lot of controversy out there in the world today, but I know we all gotta pick and choose our battles and also have time for peace. I think peace is very important to have in our lives because if we don't, the stress is so high. The stress is so high anyway with what goes on in the world today. And with just watching YouTube or watching the TV or anything is just it's always in your face, constant input. You gotta take that time to be in nature and try to be in a quiet area and give yourself some peace for a few hours each day, at least 1 hour anyway. The morning time for me, that's the time. Get up early, and if it's raining or if it's a nice beautiful day like it is today, it's just give yourself some peace, reflect. I know we always have an agenda or a to-do list. That's pretty common for everybody, I think, but it's the older you get, and I'm sure a lot of you out there feel the same way. The older you get, the more you realize, time's getting short for us on this earth, and a grounding of your faith is part of your happiness. I don't think people really get a true happiness if they don't get a hold of their spiritual side. A lot of people don't even realize they were created as a human being with a spiritual side. They don't understand it, therefore they discard it or don't ever explore it. And it's absolutely truth, just like cycles on this planet, cycles in nature that God created, good and bad, right? Holy and evil. That's what it is. That's the testing grounds of this earth. This is literally a test, a big, huge test. How are you going to exercise your free will in the humanity of your personal life? Very important. And when you're young, and I'm speaking of the way how I was young and reflect back, you don't think about those things near as much. Because you're young and you think you're invincible and the world is your oyster and there's so many things new that you're trying to experience, and the carnal man, our carnal sinful selves want to be and partake of all these worldly pleasures, and you don't realize the destructiveness of it. if you don't, even especially at an early age, you have more advantage in life to have a more stable life if you're really grounded in your early years. I mean, I'm speaking kind of on my own experience, but I know all of you probably have the same kind of a experience of your life, that of how important it is. And the longer you go, the older you become without exploring your spiritual side and get a good grounding on the solid foundations of what a strong faith will do for you and your family, you know, especially you personally in your life, your personal relationship with Jesus Christ, or, you know, and you know, I talk about Christianity a lot because that's what I believe, but there's a lot of people out there that believe, you know, in Allah and you know, the Quran, Hinduism, Buddhism. There's so many different religions, and all of them have a good way to have a good foundation of their faith and keep them on a good, solid, steady road of goodness. But the reason why I chose Christianity, not only because that's the biggest religion in America, at least at one time it was. It's a whole lot less now. But that's what, through all my research, it's the only religion that you know, because there's the Bible for Christianity, there's the Quran for Muslims, there's the I forget what the name of the book is for the Jews, but I just know that Christ, my belief, Christ gave his life for us, sacrificed his life for the carnal sin that we have that's natural within us at birth, right? I mean, you can see it. It's so, we all have good and evil within us. And it's just a matter of, are we going to gain control of that and make a choice to try to always struggle each day with being on the side of good? Or are we going to say, the heck with it, I'm going to do what I want? And when you do that, you're always getting pushed by the spirits of the evil side to do all those carnal pleasures and all that stuff that's going to really be a detriment to you and your loved ones. It's pretty easy to see. You just, if you have any kind of a consciousness about the way you conduct yourself and everything, I mean, we all have a choice, and the choice is only two choices. You're going to go the way of your faith and in God, and try to maintain a structure of goodness and no harm to others, and protecting the innocent, and have a holiness in your life, trying to obtain knowledge for a good way to advance humanity in a good way. I mean, because that's our individual choice, and it's many, many millions of individuals that make up social media and everything, right? Or are you going to go the other way, which is complete selfishness and well, not complete, but majority of, and your carnal wants for these worldly pleasures? I mean, it affects us all on a daily basis. The Bible speaks many times about how to stay away from these lures of worldly pleasures and the deceptions that make you want these things. I mean, we've all been enticed by them and stuck with them, gotten into those bad crowds of people, or those bad wants in our mind, in our hearts. And then the main thing is to try to come back to a grounding in goodness, right? I mean, it's a daily struggle. And just the ability to recognize the two sides, that's your first step by far. Most people won't even talk about it, right? Because, that's too controversial, or that's just going to be harder in my life if I'm trying to always, you know, have a spiritual battle. Well, of course it's going to be harder for your life, much harder, but that's what keeps you in the realm of holiness and keeps you guarded from the bad evil in the world, which in my 60 years on this earth, it's becoming more and more and more easier for people of the world to fall into the bad side, into the wrong side. And the strife and arguing, and now I truly believe, just like there was so many accounts, eyewitness accounts, and even what Jesus did is casting out demons from people. I think demons have been released into this earth now at an exponential rate. You can see it getting into the minds and hearts and souls of leaders throughout the world, wanting, threatening each other now, to the point we're gonna really have some hard times ahead. It's hard not to think about all this stuff, and yet, I'm here poolside at the Golden Palace, and I'm on a beautiful, beautiful morning in Mindanao, Philippines, in the deep jungle, and I'm trying to have a little peace this morning, drinking my tea and just gathering my thoughts. But this stuff is always on your mind, battling. It's a constant battle. And only by the grace of God are we ever going to be saved from it, because we can't do it ourselves. We're weak spiritually. Even, Christ Jesus is the only one that was perfect to ever walk this earth. All the apostles, all the great prophets, they all sinned. They all fell short, right? Jesus knew that. That's why he sacrificed himself for us all, because he knows that there's a part of us that wants to be so good and be like the image that God created in us. So just don't give up. Fight the good fight, right? Fight the good fight every day, no matter how hard it is. Just keep fighting and pray for those who need our help. Prayer is so important. It says in the Bible to always pray without ceasing. Without ceasing. That means 100% of your waking day, you should be in some kind of a thoughtful prayer for others and for, everything good in the eyes of God. So anyways, love you guys. I'm probably not going to get a whole huge amount of following when you talk about this stuff. It's so controversial for so many people, but that's this day and age, this day, and that's the way it is. Just keep fighting the good fight. Love you guys. Take care. God bless.